For Greenland, with the divide now rocking America's stock market. The president heading to Switzerland later tonight, where he'll likely face an icy welcome from many European leaders. Mr. Trump's increasingly tough talk on Greenland, rattling not just the NATO alliance overseas, but the stock market here in the U.S. Take a look at this. All three major indices were way down, with the S&P having its worst day in months. All of it fueled by a possible trade war over Greenland. President Trump taking the unusual step of publicly posting text messages he received from France's president. And in a marathon news conference today, the president insisted Greenland was key to American national security. We'll get to the stock market fallout in a moment, and our reporter is on the ground in Greenland. But we begin tonight with Garrett Haake at the White House.
Tonight, hours from his meeting with the world's economic elite in Davos, President Trump setting the stage for a showdown with NATO allies over the future of the Danish territory of Greenland. How far are you willing to go to acquire Greenland?
You'll find out.
The president threatening Denmark and 7 other allies with escalating tariffs until the U.S. can negotiate a deal to take control of the Arctic island. But Europe now threatening to deploy its own economic countermeasures, including a so-called trade bazooka that could ban U.S. goods from European markets. Still, the president today optimistic about a deal.
I think that we will work something out where NATO is going to be very happy and where we're going to be very happy. But we need it for security purposes. We need it for national security and even world security. It's very important.
NBC's Ellison Barber is in Greenland tonight.
Here in the capital city of Greenland, if you go into a lot of the shops in this area, you will see signs, merchandise with a very clear message, just like this: Greenland is not for sale.
They all say it's crazy, but also many are scared.
President Trump argues Denmark cannot defend the massive island from Russian and Chinese threats, taking the unprecedented step this week of posting private messages from other world leaders, including one from French President Macron, praising President Trump's moves in Syria while adding, "I do not understand what you're doing on Greenland," and inviting Trump to meet him in Paris.
They get a little bit rough when they're, when I'm not around. But when I'm around, they treat me very nicely.
All of it flowing from a lengthy news conference the president held today to mark the anniversary of his second inauguration, focusing on the economy, pointing to rising wages and gas prices at a 4-year low.
Gasoline prices have come per gallon way down. When that happens, everything else comes down.
With polls showing most Americans not satisfied with the cost of living.
They created the affordability problem, and we are solving it. We have solved a lot of it.
And there is another foreign leader text message making news tonight. A presidential text with Norway's prime minister released on Monday shows President Trump appearing to link his push for Greenland with his frustration with not being awarded a Nobel Peace Prize this year. The president insisting that he believes the country has, quote, tremendous control over who receives the prize, despite their denials. Tom?
All right, Garrett Haake leading us off tonight. And for that big drop in the markets today, I want to bring in our senior business correspondent, Christine Roman. So, Christine, what was that big sell-off all about?
Tom, Wall Street reeling from that threat of a new trade war with Europe if President Trump just doesn't get his way, doesn't get what he wants with Greenland. More tariffs on European goods could raise costs for American companies and consumers. And now European leaders, they are readying retaliation. That could hurt American exporters. All of this leading today to what is being called the Sell America trade. Investors dumping U.S. stocks, bonds, and the dollar. The S&P 500, which had set record highs this month, now down for the year. Tom, the European Union had been close to ratifying an important trade deal with the U.S., but now we're back at a risk of a new trade war with Europe.
And all eyes on that Trump speech in Davos. All right, thanks so much, Christine. The other big headline out of the White House tonight, Vice President J.D. Vance and his wife Usha announced today they're expecting their 4th child this summer. I'm joined tonight by Kelly O'Donnell. And Kelly, this is so rare for a sitting first or second lady to have a baby.
Tom, the Vance's new addition is making history. The first known time a sitting vice president is expecting a child while in office. And it was rare for presidential families, too, not seen since the Kennedys. J.D. and Usha Vance, who are 41 and 40 years old, delivered this big surprise today on social media, announcing a baby boy is due in July. They thank the military doctors who are caring for their family. The new baby will join 2 big brothers and a big sister. Big family. Tom?
All right, Kelly O'Donnell for us. Kelly, thank you. Tonight, Tonight, a dangerous mix of heavy snow and bitter cold blanketing much of the country. In some places, it felt like 20 below zero, and another more powerful storm right behind it. Aaron McLaughlin is tracking it for us.
Tonight, extreme weather spelling extreme misery for millions.
I'm convinced this weather is not meant for human consumption.
Temperatures 15 to 20 degrees below average. From the Midwest to the Northeast. Even a cold warning as far south as Florida. All of it creating whiteout conditions this week, leading to one of the largest pileups in Michigan state history. School buses deployed to rescue stranded drivers.
When you've got 100 cars out there, it's pretty insane.
Experts warn just 10 minutes in these bitter cold temps can lead to frostbite.
Our emergency departments are really busy, and so the cold only adds to that strain.
Milwaukee's chief health policy advisor says the number of patients have been on the rise for weeks because of the flu. This cold is now making things worse.
A person who came in with an asthma exacerbation. We saw somebody who was shoveling snow and got chest pain. We saw somebody who reached into a snowblower to try to jam out or get out that jammed snow.
In Pittsburgh, at the city's water treatment plant, ice in the river blocked the water intake. Emergency officials raced to clear the blockage. And over in Chicago,
Just a heads up, we are evacuating.
overnight air traffic control was temporarily evacuated after a water pipe burst in the Tower building. Tonight in the Big Apple, the fountains are freezing up, and New Yorkers, like so many Americans, are bundling up, getting ready for the next Arctic punch. Tom?
We see those icicles building there. All right, Aaron, on a week like this, we do need to talk to Al Roker. And Al, you're tracking the next